Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexiot's here. Freakout. And I'm freaking out because I got a really great interview from Rico Hines last night from day 3 of training camp in Victoria, British Columbia. Rico Hines coming through with the fire, with the quotables. This is going to be a great person to hear from all through the season. Like, we used to have a assistant coach named Tom Sterner who used to have the most amazing interviews after the half. They always seem to interview an assistant coach sometimes after the half during games. And I think Rico Hines is going to get some interviews this year, y'all, because he is a quotable. He is somebody that can say stuff that is actually really interesting and fun to hear. It's very much, whether it's his figures of speech or whatever he's saying, is sometimes very interesting and fun. Monique's been here. She said that she didn't see a Rico Hines interview coming towards us yesterday, and she was caught off guard by it. Let's go. Yeah, we're going to talk about what he said. Tom Duke is here, and he's already feeling like it's Christmas. He just woke up and it's Christmas morning. He is going to the open practice charity scrimmage this evening, and he is excited about it. He is on. I bet he is ready. Let's see. He's saying, "I got a Fred VanVleet and a chew toy for Cardi." Awesome. A Fred VanVleet jersey. Are you going to try and get Fred's to sign your jersey or something like that? Chew toy for Cardi. That's nice of you, Tom, and stuff like that. I know, we'll see. Like, hopefully you get his attention. Everything's going to go well. Just go there, have a good time, and let us know what happened. And like I said, if you could send me a picture tonight, that'd be badass, Tom. I'd appreciate it, because I love to get your, tomorrow when we talk, you can tell us a lot about what you saw from the game tonight, the scrimmage and everything that you see on the ground there in the building at Victoria tonight. I really am glad that you're going, and that we'll have somebody in there to tell us what they saw during that game and stuff like that. Have fun, Tom, is what Raymond's saying. Yes, very much have fun. This is a great, great thing that you're getting to go do. Awesome. I'm so happy and proud of Raptor Freak Tom Duke going to this open gym today. And I know Joseph Starks and some other people out west are going to be going also. So let's talk about what Rico said exactly. He was talking about how being on the team is really great. This is a class organization. This is something that he thought was going to happen all along, and that it was just time, and that it fits like a glove. This is what I've been saying on this channel, that things have been fitting like a glove, whether it's Otto Porter Jr. coming to the team, Christian Coloco getting drafted, Rico Hines being a coach. Well, it came right out of Rico Hines' mouth last night. This match has fit like a glove, is exactly what Rico Hines has said about his time being on the Raptors now and stuff like that. That's badass, and I love that so much. And he said some other stuff that was very, very interesting also. He talked about how this is the really cool thing about this whole week with the Raptors at training camp and stuff, that they have been focused so much on Pascal Siakam and who he's going to be this week. Pascal said on media day, "I want to be a top 5 player in this league." And there's been a lot of carryover for that in questions by interviewers and different like interviews and things that people have done since. And basically, everybody's doubled down on it. Fred said, we got to help him get there and get to it and stuff like that. Chris Boucher says he looks like the Pascal that played in the finals against the Warriors, and that he's really at the top of his form. Rico's saying this last night. Rico handled this really, really well. And this is the way he instills this kind of belief in these young players on how to grow and what to shoot for and achieve for. That, it was really interesting how he answered this question about Pascal being a top 5. He didn't outright just say, "Yeah, I think he can do it." He didn't want to set him up just in case. He didn't say for sure, "Yeah, I think he will be a top 5 player in this league." He said, "I want Pascal to be the best player that he can possibly be." And he doubled down on it and said, "I want the Raptors to be the best team they can be." And when somebody like Rico Hines says that, I take him to mean it, because listen, he would be full of shit if he said stuff like that. It was just a lip service, because this is who the man is. It's like, listen, he has a credibility in who he is and what he's built up over the last few years as a development coach. So when he says that, he's not just saying that, he means it. That he wants Pascal to be the absolute best player he can be, and he wants our team to be the absolute best team it can be. And I love that, because that means that he's going to be a driving force of inertia on the inside of our team in different ways that we haven't had. We didn't have this last year. He wasn't on our squad last year as a coach. So how is that factoring in on the whole aggregate accumulation of what we're going to do this season? The Rico Hines will to want to see his team win and be the best that it can be. What is that going to add to everything? And each individual player, that his influence and his drive and his way of looking at basketball and the world is going to be imprinted on these guys all season. Forget about just a month or like a week or a couple days of runs in the middle of August. This is going to be an ongoing thing all season, where this guy is going to be driving them and pushing them with his really strong will. I loved hearing that from Rico, because I know when he says that, he does not say that lightly. He means it. He wants Pascal to be the absolute best player he can be. He described it as Pascal's trying to squeeze every little bit of ability out of his body. He's trying to squeeze every little droplet out of his body of what he can get out of himself. And that if you look at it that way, well, if they're going to do that with the whole team, look out. How much better can we be this year because of that unspoken inertia and the coaching staff now of Rico Hines and what he is and what he brings and stuff like that? It's very exciting. But getting back to the whole thing about Pascal specifically, Rico said, I want Pascal, when it's all said and done, to be who Pascal's supposed to be. He's not saying that he's going to be a top five. He's not saying anything. He's not putting any pressure on him. He's just saying, I want him to be who he's supposed to be. And then when the career is over, we can look back and see what he did and stuff like that. I love that way of thinking. And in fact, that is kind of shared these days by Precious and Scotty, that there's a lot of potential in these young men that we don't know where they're going to go. We don't know what their ceiling's going to be. And we don't want to put unnecessary pressure on them also to become who they're supposed to be. So the way Rico handled this whole situation in the interview last night is exactly the way to look at it. It's like, look, we want to squeeze every bit of ability and as good as you guys can be, but we're not setting exact benchmarks, exact places where you are considered a failure if you don't get to them. And that's a really good way to allow a young player or any player to grow into what they're actually naturally supposed to be, instead of putting expectations on them that are just not realistic. And that's why he didn't come out and say, yes, I believe Pascal will be a top 5 player this year, because he doesn't know and he doesn't want to put his credibility on the line. He said he wants Pascal to be the absolute best player that he can be. And that could mean the top 3 player in the league. So that's the thing. It's a really weird way of not putting any limitations, but also not putting any expectations on the young player. So, yeah, I'm really excited about it. I loved getting the Rico Hines interview last night. And he, like I said, he's going to be a quotable all year. He's going to say stuff and people are going to be like, yeah, yeah, tell him. And he's just really happy to be on our team. You can tell, like, it's going to be fun. Well, once again, we have another buddy pairing. We got Otto and Thad. We discovered this week that they're really good friends and they're going to be traveling vet buddies. Well, we got the assistant coach buddies, Earl Watson and Rico Hines, absolute best friends that are just going to really enjoy working together all year. That kind of synergy and fun, that kind of fun when you're with your best friend and you get to do fun stuff with them. And it's just like a dream. It's almost like, I can't believe I'm getting paid to be an assistant coach on this team. And my best friend is here with me and we get to work all together doing what we love and we have a passion for, and we get to spend a lot of time together. That is just a dream kind of thing. And the pairing of Earl Watson and Rico Hines is a really big deal because they work off each other really well. And like, I'm sure that they call each other out on their bullshit. Also, just in case there is any and stuff like that. All right, let me see what you guys are saying. Glamma D's here. Good to see Glamma D. Good morning, fellow Raptor freaks. Yes, Raptor freak Glamma D, one of the Twitch family. And Tom Duke is going to the game. And hopefully we'll have Twitch family and Raptor freak family representation there. And Scotty will recognize. I almost thought Scotty did a shout out to us on one of the Raptors clips on Raptors Instagram account. There's a lot of content coming out there with pictures from training camp and little video snippets and stuff like that. We're seeing dunks. We're seeing Scotty talking to the camera a lot. He's like saying, the vibes, don't play with us. He's saying all of his lines that he says on Twitch. in the Raptors media content on Instagram these days. And we see him posing, we see Pascal slamming. There's that one part where Pascal's sitting down and the camera's panning around to him, and all of a sudden his face just lights up like a light bulb with like positive, happy vibes. There's just like, you see the man, you're like, this guy is beaming with excitement and enthusiasm and happiness. It's so nice to see. So nice to see where Pascal is. And like I said, all week, these guys have been talking about Pascal. Pascal this. Fred said, we need to help Pascal be top 5. You know, Precious saying, yeah, this dude is really good. Kim said it yesterday. He said, he's the first one in every morning. The dude is at the gym 2 hours before everybody else. He's already sweating when everybody else shows up. And then after practice, he works out for another hour after it's all done. This is the reason why he's so great. And this is what Rico said. He's addicted to being great. That these were his words, and he didn't even just say it once. Rico repeated it like 4 times. He is addicted to being great. He is addicted to being great. That Pascal, at some point in his career, decided he wanted to be great, and he saw what it took, and he understood it more and more, and he's gone down that path, and there's no turning back. It's like, listen, he can only be one way at this point. And that is showing up at practice an ungodly amount of hours before and just running all day. I understand what Pascal's doing. When I was younger, in my early 20s, I used to love to run on the basketball court for like 9 hours in a day. It's like, yeah, other people are falling out, but I just loved running and getting up and down that court. We start at like 10 a.m. and we go until into the evening. And that was like summertime with the guys in my early 20s. And like, so I know how Pascal feels with this, where you just keep going and who cares how tired you get. And that's part of the reason why he has this crazy energy and motor as a player in the NBA is because he's built it up. Greg's right. You train to get that amount of time and playing. He has pushed himself so far that in some ways he just doesn't get tired. And with sports science and medicine and how to recuperate the body and stuff like that, he can do this in such a scientific and perfect natural way that his body is a machine. And that it's like he will take it and he will rehydrate, he will eat right, he will get the right amount of sleep, and he will be able to rinse, repeat, and go on over and do that spin cycle over and over again. Because that's what he did last season. And if he's strong and he's taking it all and he's fighting it all, this man is badass. That's what I'm saying. And I love that he's getting his kudos and his focus on this training camp week. It really has become a Pascal top 5 talking about week. And I love it. Now, more about Kem Birch's interview from yesterday. He talked about his injury that happened last season. And this is something they didn't catch early in the season. He played on this most of the year. All you fucking Kem Birch haters talking all this bullshit about him. This man played very hurt last year. He had a torn meniscus the whole entire season pretty much. It was undetected. The MRIs did not catch it. It wasn't until he got busted in the face against Detroit and his nose got pushed in and he had to take time off because of the nose injury that he noticed that the swelling in his knee was going down. Because remember last season, I was talking about this a lot about how Kem's knee's just not getting better. What the fuck is wrong with his knee? Because it was really, really something different. And this maybe really did impact his play. Consider how well he played with a messed up knee like that last year and hurt. That's what I'm saying. Y'all need to put respect on his name and realize the man probably shouldn't even been playing last year because he had a torn meniscus. Well, they detected it in the off and they found it and they took care of it right in the off season. That was the surgery he had right at the beginning of the offseason. And he says he's not 100% back yet, but he is participating in training camp and doing the things. But during the summer, he was only shooting around. This is why we did not see him at Rico Hines runs. This is why we did not see him a whole lot of this summer. He really was recuperating from his surgery and trying to get 100% in time for the season. Well, he says he's not 100% right now, but he's not worried. He has full confidence in this team and the guys that are on the team with him to be okay and take care of everything while he's not ready. But he will be coming back and he will be reclaiming some minutes on this team and in the rotation in different ways. And so anybody, all right, first of all, not very much, the people that aren't really paying attention to the Raptors but are Raptors fans realize when Kem's not playing at the beginning of the season, this is why. It's not because he sucks. is not because we don't want to use him. It's because he's not fully healed or healthy yet. And that they want to give him time. Why rush him? Give him the time. We have the luxury of this roster to allow Cam to fully heal. And then when he is fully healed, let's go put him out on the court and see what he'll do then. And see if he'll really surprise and shock some people then with what he's doing on the court and what he contributes to the team and stuff. So a very big mystery about Kem Birch and why things were happening a certain way with him. Like, why did the swelling never go down all season? Has been answered. And he has told us yesterday in the interview, it was because he had a torn meniscus this whole time. And they finally fixed it. And hopefully he'll be good to go this season. Yeah. All right. Let's see what you guys are saying in here this morning. I will get to your comments a bit. And we'll keep talking here. Let's see. Okay. Tom saying no jersey. It's for Cardi. Okay. So you got a Fred Van Vliet jersey and chew toy for Cardi. So you got a little Fred Van Vliet jersey for Scotty's dog. Oh, that's cute. Oh, that's cute. I love it. I love it. All right. Kenne's here. Good to see Kenne. Rico is God sent. His philosophy matches are. It really does. It like fits like a glove once again. Like he said that too. He's like talking about how this team just does things right. Like they've always done things right is what he said. And that like they're the same philosophies he has out in his Rico Hines runs and the ways he looks at things and stuff like that. It very much matches up with Raptors ideology and culture and what's important to us, our basketball morality of how we do things and stuff like that. So Rico enjoys this. It's like he said, I don't even have to come in here and change anything. It's exactly, I like how it is already. I just want to keep the status quo with the team and just keep enforcing it and reinforcing the ideals and the things that we feel are important on this team, which is defense, energy, hustle, not giving up, always going and stuff like that. Like this is a thing. NBA teams have not been this kind of hurry up, crazy, all over the place kind of thing that we've been doing the last couple years. Teams are usually lazy. Teams are usually like, they'll do different things. They don't want to work like we got them working. And that is a huge advantage for our team that nobody talks about. That the people down south, they need to realize that we're working harder than anybody else in some ways. And that Rico's just going to add more to that spirit of working hard. This man can motivate. And I think that Kenny is exactly right. That this is just something that was aligned in the stars that needed to happen. And now finally it's locked in and it's into place. And this feels so good. And I know it feels good for Rico, and I know the Raptors and our players are going to really benefit from his presence being around all the time and stuff like that. I really, really see it. All right, let's keep going. Tom Duke saying, woohoo, Glamma, let's go. How about Kem and him embracing his role? Yeah, Kem's role is really the same. And it's not like he's trying to go out and get more or get less, but he should. If he's fully healthy this season and he can actually move better and do things like that, then I want to see him try and score more. I want to see if he can get a little more mobility and different things. This is the thing, y'all. I can't believe he played on that torn meniscus this whole entire last season. He could have done so much more worse damage to him. Like he played in the playoffs and he was battling with Embiid and doing things like that all the way through the end of the season. That's insane. In fact, I have so much more respect from him knowing that he played hurt like that. Think about this. You think Kawhi, if he had a hurt knee with that meniscus, you think he would put himself out there and want to play? No, even if he didn't know what the problem was. This knee's still swelling. I'm not playing at all. Well, Kem kept trying to play with it. So come on, y'all. Let's give this man some respect and love because Kem Birch is a badass and he's just an underspoken badass that's not looking for the spotlight, and he doesn't want to tell his story of why he's a badass. So people like me need to, so that other fans understand why he's a badass. So yeah, that was all. I couldn't believe that he had a torn meniscus last season. Nobody knew. Oh my gosh. All right, let's keep going. Kenny's saying, imagine going to the gym after a game to work on something. I know Pascal's crazy. Like he said it last year, I can't afford to ever be tired. And he's right to a degree. So what do? Just overwork yourself until you become a robot, till you become like somebody who just doesn't get tired, that has an crazy, incredible stamina and energy and motor. They just don't get tired. Pascal doesn't get tired. This is why he works out like a maniac like this. He's addicted to greatness. He's addicted to greatness. That is such a badass like comment by Rico Hines. It's like, listen, he's bringing in the idea of an addict. Like, I'm an alcoholic. I'm addicted to alcohol, but I don't drink it. Well, Pascal's addicted to being great and working out as much as he can and feeling that feeling of success and feeling like he did good things and he's winning games. And once again, it's echoed in him. It's not about him. It's about winning games. Winning. That's what they care about, is what they do on the court to win and stuff like that. And that is so important from those guys and stuff like that. And they had another interview with Pascal yesterday. It was really short. It wasn't that long and stuff like that. But yeah, him echoing a lot of the same things he's already been saying this whole week and stuff like that. So Cowboy saying, yo, 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 good morning, Bradley. Good, ta-da for all your around the house needs. If you need the carpet cleaned, the windows washed, you need some painting, you need some remodeling, brothers ta-da. They're in the phone book. Look up ta-da in the 416 around Toronto area. Yeah. David is here saying good morning to Cowboy, and Monique is here. Good morning to Monique. Good morning, Dizzy B. David, good morning to both Davids. Tom Duke saying Earl Watson has to be a big reason Rico came. Teammates back at UCLA. Yeah, well, it's all starting to fit and make sense. Like I said, a couple years ago, I was like, why isn't Rico Hines coaching on our team? Well, now he is. And I knew it was eventually going to happen. It's interesting what he says like about Pascal. He says he got Pascal just before pre-draft is when he met. And then once again, he's talking about how he ranks with all the people he's ever worked with in his history of development coach. And he put him up there at like the top of the list over guys like Kevin Durant and Baron Davis. And that's really big, huge compliment. That's a huge, huge compliment. He's never seen somebody work this hard. And he's seen a lot of players over a lot of time. And that this man is the hardest working guy he's ever seen is Pascal Siakam. That says so much. And he wouldn't make this bullshit up. He's not a bullshit motherfucker guy. He says what he sees and he believes is true. He's not going to say this just to pump Pascal up and it's empty and hollow. He means it. It's almost like his word is bona fide. He needs to have it verified, checked, can be fact checked, and it is accurate. So he don't want to say something that isn't accurate. Like if Pascal was a loafer really on, like, no, he's not going to say that. He means it when he says Pascal's the hardest working player he's ever worked with in his coaching career. He really means it. And yeah, Earl Watson, of course, like that's attractive to him to come here if his friends here, like I was just describing. It really is. Let's see. Raptor Ruins. I don't know what that is about. Let's see. Let's go, Freaks. Happy Friday, Freaks. I like it. You know it. Yeah, can't wait. Let's go. Did a deep dive into Rico. He is a baller. Yeah, it was interesting. They're asking him about his career and stuff. You know, he had an injury very early in his playing career, which kind of diverted him to being a coach. This is a very similar story to Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse had an injury early in his career that diverted him to being a coach. Trevor Gleason, same thing. Diverted to being more of a coach than a player because of early injuries. And in some ways, these are very serendipitous, like very fortuitous. That like, look, maybe Rico Hines would be a much better coach at this point than he would have been as a player in his playing career over this time. That, you know, sometimes you got to take the disappointment and sadness of losing something and turning it into something much more powerful and more beautiful. And I think that this is a common theme in some of our coaches on our staff. That Trevor Gleason had a horrible accident that really messed him up, and it was very scary. And it made him not be able to play anymore. And then Nick Nurse, he did kind of had an injury that really kind of ended his playing career too. So he went more in the coaching direction. Well, what if Nick Nurse hadn't started coaching in his 20s? If he had played a full career and didn't start coaching until like his 30s or 40s, this could have been a totally different course for his life. So it's really weird. Like you got to realize the detours in your life and the things that may be unhappy in the moment, they may actually be setting you up for even more incredible things. You don't think Rico Hines was upset when he was a young player after UCLA that his career was not going to go the way he wanted to because of an injury? Well, what did he do? He turned around and he went into the coaching and he made himself into what he is today. So that's what I'm saying. Make the best of your situation and the opportunities that come to you, because they may change and they may be not what you wanted, but they could be something even greater and better than you thought. So yeah, I like that. I like that. All right, let's see. Cowboys saying I learned our team is stacked, players and staff. Yeah, I think we're stacked in a lot of different ways and places. David saying, I have to say, considering the injury, he played pretty damn okay. I know. That's what I'm saying. We got to think back to Kem Birch and what he did last season, how much he played. I mean, there were a lot of games where he didn't play and he's sad. But just the fact, and I saw his knee. His knee looked all fat and gross. And I'm like, man, this dude is still trying to play. A lot of other NBA players would have been like, nope, sorry, I'm sitting. I'm not going to mess with my career. This dude was trying and getting out there when he probably maybe shouldn't have been on the down low because he had a torn meniscus and we didn't even know. It's crazy. Monique saying, I'm sad for Kem, but positive for him. You know what? This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. You can be sad for him because he got popped in the nose. He had different injuries last season, corona, different things that caused a hard season for him. But he's a fighter. This is the way he's always done this. In fact, that's what he said in his interview. I've been patient. I've been patient my whole entire career to get here. He wasn't drafted. He had to go through the roundabout route to get back into the NBA. He wasn't guaranteed an NBA career. He really carved this out. And his story is similar, more similar to Fred VanVleet's than it is Scotty Barnes's. So, he had to go somewhere else and play overseas and then lock on with the Magic. And now he's with the team he wants to be, but now he's hurt. So he's like got different obstacles, different things have gotten in the way of him being totally healthy and successful playing on this team. And now hopefully maybe he can heal up. And this year, it may not happen right at the beginning of the season, but over the course of the season, we may see a different Kem Birch just because how hurt he was last year. We didn't even know. So I'm really excited to see the potential for this and stuff like that. He's so calm and serene about this. Like, you can tell he really looks at this in a very grown up, mature perspective. That, listen, this is my life, this is my career, this is my knee, and I just have to be patient. I can't fight against it. It's all going to happen as it's going to, and I'll get my time. And I'm not worried about the team getting ahead of me and me losing spots and stuff like that. That's not what I'm worried about. It's not my ego. It's not about me. It's about the team and what's best for it. And I just want to get as healthy as I can for myself so that I can contribute in the ways the team needs me at the best that I can with my body. That's really where he's coming from with his mentality, Kem Birch, and stuff like that. I love that. It's so selfless. There's so much selflessness on the Toronto Raptors right now. And that really is a huge strength. It's a huge strength. The selflessness of Fred changing his role, even though it may not be exactly what he wants to do. The selflessness of Scotty Barnes and the way he looks at basketball as a passing and making your teammates better and not just about me. The way that Kem Birch put him playing over his own body and his own personal interests, maybe in to an extent. So yeah, it's very, very selfless team. Let's see. Cowboys thinking we're going to be champions this year. Let's go. I love that. And I believe in it too, Bradley. I think we will be champions this year too. And that's what we're going to talk about all year here. We're going to talk about how we're going to fly this plane this season and land it just right next to that Larry O'Brien at the end of the season. We'll all get out and we'll hold it high and we'll have another parade downtown where we'll get 3 million people this time. That's what I want to see this year. That's on my vision board, and that's what we're going for. We're not playing this season to not get a Larry O'Brien. That's what we do in Raptors Nation. We don't do shit. We don't shoot to miss. We don't coach to lose. And we're not playing a season to not Larry O'Brien. That's what we're going for. Oh, yeah. Joseph Starks is saying, salute, Raptor freaks. Today, Scotty Barnes will hear my voice. Yes, Joseph. Because Tom and I are going to be screaming in the bleachers like little shits. I mean, freaks. Go Raps. So stoked. Joseph, I'm so happy for you guys, both of you. You guys are going to have a blast. I'm glad you guys are going to link up and stuff like that. This is so cool. Like, seriously, represent, y'all, and show what type of cult we are. We are a positive, loving, share the love club kind of cult that is all about positivity and building up those Raptors to get that Larry O'Brien. That is our own sole mission. Stand up for them positively in all kinds of different ways and go there and show your support, enthusiasm, and passion, Joseph Starks. I know today's just so fun. I'm so happy for you guys. I really am. I wish I could be there, but listen, I'm so happy that you guys and your community are getting to see these guys today because you guys deserve to get to see them out west, and you get to deserve to see them in Edmonton and Montreal and every other city that they're going to show up in this year for all the different Raptor freaks spread out all over North America. So yeah, I'm very, very excited for you, Joseph. And get loud. Be a different kind of Raptor fan. Maybe some other people will be looking at you and Tom like you're crazy, but listen, you have that passion, that spirit. You have that Raptor freak heart, and you go put it on display. And Scotty will love seeing you guys. You say Twitch stream. You say I'm Tommy Duke from Twitch. You say Raptor freaks. Whatever you guys got to say to get Scotty's attention. I'm sure he's going to come and say hi to you guys. I really do. If it doesn't happen, no expectations. Let's just see how it all goes. But I have a good feeling that good things are going to happen tonight. So, all right, let's see. Duke Rocks is saying, I think people are overreacting to Siakam's statement, hyperbole or not. He feels it due about, and I love the fact Fred VanVleet said we'll try and get him there. Yeah, I mean, he actually yesterday, he really answered the question correctly. They asked him, well, how are you going to be top 5, Pascal? He said, well, it's going to take my team doing really well and like winning a lot. He's exactly right. That's the only way it's going to happen. We have to be absolutely dominant this year as a team, and in a way that they can't ignore us. They can't fucking look at the standings and see Milwaukee and us 1 and 2, and we're kind of flipping 1 and 2 like we did in 2020. It's like they ignored us being the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference for the first half of the season that year. And then as soon as January flipped and Milwaukee overtook us and became the number 1 seed, they started talking all about Milwaukee being so great, but they didn't say anything about us being on top for the first half of the season. That made me so mad. But that's what I'm saying. They're going to ignore it. So we have to be absolutely overpowering powerful and do everything perfect as far as win. And he has to be absolutely badass. And the winning, and with that, will make them have to put him in the conversation, especially if we're not expected to be a top team in this league. And we're absolutely one of the top 3 teams in this league. Then they will have to put a look on him and say, well, why? Well, look at what Pascal's doing. And then they'll be like, okay, maybe he is an MVP candidate. Because that's kind of like they're saying they want him to be a top 5 player. Well, that also means they want him to be in the running for MVP. That's basically what that code is. So that may be like, let's not say top 5 players. Sure, that's just ambiguous. That could be like looked at all kinds of ways. But an MVP candidate, that is a little bit more tangible and real as far as a thing that we could start seeing this year. So I'm excited about it, Duke, and I believe in our guys. And I love that they're all going to be helping him. This is a very similar thing that happened last year. There's no joke that Fred VanVleet was an all-star last year. There's no joke that Scotty Barnes was the rookie of the year. This was partly because our team helped these guys get those accolades. Same for Pascal's All-NBA. So that's what they see. They're helping each other. They get stuff from it also on the sides of it. So that's really a whole part of this selflessness that we're talking about with the Raptors, and the way they look at each other and the way they want to help each other succeed is really awesome, because that help can actually get them over the line and be that little bit of extra that beats Evan Mobley and Cade Cunningham and the rookie of the year running, because you guys were helping you get to there, Scotty, and stuff like that. I love it. I love it so much. Let's go Raptors. Tom Duke has got his emojis out with all the faces and the thumbs up and the dinosaurs and stuff. I love it. Fun Guy's here. Good to see Fun Guy. I was just so confusing about Kem's injury. It wasn't going away, and now it makes sense. I know, it totally makes sense. We were so confused about this last year. I can kind of remember us talking about this. Like, there's something weird about Kem's knee. There really is. The swelling's just not going down. I remember us talking about this last year, really thinking about this. Well, now we get answers. It's like this week has been answering a whole bunch of questions, whether it's the OG bullshit from Jake from State Farm, and now we understand more about Kem's injury. Let's see. Duke's saying, feels it's doable. Dang, my typing sucks today. It's all good. I can try and read anything. I think it's doable that Pascal should be an MVP candidate, and we should be in the top 5 teams of the league. I really do. That computer thing that they did on ESPN yesterday's got everybody rankled. Like, oh my gosh, all the Heat fans are going crazy that we're ranked higher than them. A lot of people, the Cleveland fans, are freaking out about that poll too. That computer generated statistical analysis. There's no bullshit in there. There's no like, I hate the Raptors, so I'm going to slight them and put them 3 slots lower than they should be. That is basically the computer ran it, and that's what it came out with. And the computer's not going to know all the problems that Boston's having. And some people are arguing that Philly should be better than Boston. I might agree with that. That Philly may actually should have been the number one on there, or Milwaukee. Not Boston shouldn't be number one on that list because they're going to have fallout from all this Doka stuff, and it's going to impact their team and their season this year for sure. So but us being 4. Exactly. Yeah, they can't. The computer's not gonna lie. The computer is not like, I hate Canada. The computer's like, oh, give me the money, the numbers, and they spit out the report. I think about a computer like Lost in Space. It's huge. It's a whole wall, and it has a little thin printout that comes out, and they read it. Oh, Toronto 4th. I don't know. All right, let's see. Fun guy saying Pascal is the best to hear from. He's joyful and vocal with the media. Love it. That really is a graduation. Like, Fred graduated to this a long time ago. Like, this veteran, like, mature leader who's like no nonsense, very professional, very much carries himself. In fact, that's part of the reason why we're deceivingly young. Is Fred acts like an old grandpa kind of guy with his mentality, even though he's only 28. He's very, very young. And now, all of a sudden, this season coming back, we're seeing a little bit more leadership from the other 3 champions. The Pascal and Chris look like mature vets at this point. They've come in, they have a different look to them, a lot more mature and a lot more polished and astute in their interviews and just who they are and how they carry themselves. And OG's the other one we got to talk about. Like, he doesn't come by naturally, but they have talked about this week, OG being more of a leader and being more of a vet presence on this team. That it's just naturally going to happen, even if it's more private and on an individual level with certain players on the team and lifestyle things and stuff like that. Like him and Scotty teaching Scotty what not to eat and what to eat. I mean, Scotty's eating habits on his Twitch were pretty bad. I'm not going to lie. He's not eating the best food. He's eating some garbage in a lot of cases. And hopefully OG can get him turned on to more healthier snacks and things to eat and stuff like that. He likes a lot of chips. He likes a lot of Chick-fil-A, stuff like that. But, I'm sure Scotty's eating a lot of healthy stuff besides. He's only 21. He can get away with eating a lot of unhealthy stuff. But, that may be that OG's an influence on him about the things that he starts eating more and more instead of some of the stuff he was eating on the Twitch. I don't judge. You eat whatever you want. It's just that I'm coming from a 47-year-old guy who can't eat anything now like you're eating now because of overeating that stuff when I was younger. All right, let's see. Fun guy saying, I don't want to belittle Pascal's hard work, but I think a lot of it comes to him from being a homebody and not really the party and going out type. Yeah. In fact, this is an interesting thing I've wondered about with the Raptors. Like, how much do they actually go out? How much do they actually drink? How much do they actually like get involved with women out in the nightlife or doing things like that? It's funny. There was a moment on Scotty's Twitch. Once again, this is the kind of information you won't get anywhere else as far as Raptors content, where somebody said they saw Scotty at a club. They said, I saw you and Chris Boucher at the Cactus or this club last season. And Scotty took one look at that comment and said, nope, no, you did not see me there. And I was like, this man's not going out. So that's what I'm saying. They may step out and do little things. I don't know. I don't know what they do. And it's not really any of my business what they do in their private time and their time off. But I don't think a lot of these guys do a whole lot of partying or going out. I know Scotty doesn't drink. So it's that kind of thing. It's like they're really athletes. They're really professional. This is what I'm saying. This is a dedicated 24-hour, 7-day-a-week thing for them at this point. We've seen how they work this whole off season. It used to be the NBA players would take the whole summer off. They wouldn't even play basketball. They wouldn't do anything. They would just get out of shape. They didn't give a shit. Well, if they had this mentality of 24/7, 365 days a year, that's what Fred said. There's no off season anymore. It's 1 year, it's a year cycle at this point. then you got to wonder what they're doing and what kind of choices they make in their private lives and their personal lives as far as going out. And yeah, I think you're right. Pascal is probably very much a homebody, somebody who doesn't want to go out and deal with all the bullshit. Why would he want to anyway? And he can find joy and happiness within his personal sphere of friends and family and being around. He can be around his nieces and nephews and his sisters and brothers and his mom, and then like close friends and people like that, and that's enough for him. It's like he can be a little bit more insulated away from public life by keeping it like close like that. And I think that's smart. I think that's smart. I think that these guys are really smart about the pitfalls, about things that can happen to you and really fuck up your career and stuff like that. Like I think about something like, there were years and years ago, the pitcher CC Sabathia got on a fist fight in the middle of the entertainment district here in Toronto, and all the bullshit that caused and all the craziness and stuff like that. Sabathia, yeah, this is a pitcher in the Major League Baseball in downtown Toronto on the streets fighting someone in the middle of the street. There's all kinds of dumpster fires you can step into. And I love that our guys are very smart about safeguarding from that. I think that OG's another one that's like this. You think OG's going out and doing hardly anything? I don't think so. He's very private. What's he do? He's bored. He goes for a walk. He reads a book. He watches sunset. He's bored. He goes to the gym and shoots around. That's what I'm saying. These guys are more likely to go to the gym than they are to the club. And that doesn't matter what month it is. It could be August. It could be July. They're going to the gym and they're not. It's crazy. It's so crazy. I think this is right. I think that the team is not really the going out kind of team kind of thing, but I could be wrong. It could be that they go out for dinners and enjoy themselves that way, but they're not hitting the clubs or the discotheques or, whatever they're at, where they're at, the bars or anything like that. And there are players that do that. We know James Harden's hitting them clubs and them bars and them strip clubs and stuff like that. I don't know how much strip clubs our guys are going to. Who knows? Maybe Gary gets out there and gets crazy. I don't know. It's not up to me for me to judge either way. But from the little details and things that I've seen and observed, I don't think that these guys do a whole lot. Maybe they do a lot of hanging out with each other, and that's part of it too, and stuff like that. So I think this really is part of it. What Fun Guy's saying is he's a homebody, and they just don't go out and expose themselves to any possible kind of problems. I know Scotty is that way too. Like with women, it's the same thing. It's like he talked a little bit about women this summer, very, very little. He's like, yeah, he has women in his life that he cares about and stuff like that, but nothing serious. And he didn't want to talk about them or shout any of them out or do anything like that because he knows that's just unnecessary, unneeded drama. And then he's going to just stay from it. So stuff like that. So Duke's saying, I love the fact Rico talked about the Raps culture and development and how it's a good fit for him. It's really carbon copy. I mean, Rico Hines is about hustle and hard work. That's basically his main, most important thing. He wants you to work as hard as you can. And that's the whole way that Nick Nurse has got this team running and the way that they operate. So, yeah, it totally fits. Tom Duke saying Rico considers his career is just getting going and has lots left. Of course, he will get his own team soon enough. Raptors developing coaches and players. Hopefully he stays content for multiple chips here. I'd love to have him here as long as possible, but this is true. He's going to be very attractive to teams like Orlando, any team that's kind of having trouble. Why isn't he the head coach of the Sacramento Kings? They just hired Mike Brown, and he's doing like high school sprints when you miss a free throw and stuff like that. It's really goofy. But I think that Rico Hines would have been a much better incumbent for Bill Walton. And I mean, not Bill Walton, Luke Walton. And maybe that's part of the reason why he's jumped ship and come to us, because he got passed over in Sacramento. And maybe it would have been his chance to jump in, but they didn't give it to him. They gave it to Mike Brown. That's very weird. I don't know. Your loss, Sacramento Kings. Our gain is how I look at it. But yeah, I think you're right. He's very young for a coach's age. And it's going to be interesting to see his journey over the next couple of years. I'm very excited for him. I know that this is a great thing about the Raptors. We don't come from a scarcity standpoint. There is a plethora. There is an abundance of everything for everyone, whether it's the players and what they do on the court with their stats and growing as players. They can all grow together. It's the same thing. We can grow Rico Hines and stuff like that and not have any kind of disdain or worry. Oh, no, if we let him get too good, then he's going to leave us. Why would we worry about that or have that fear? Let him leave if he wants to leave at some point. It's just we develop people and we help make them their names and even better and bigger. And then they go and do great things in other places and stuff like that. And that's a great system to have. That's attractive for other people to come and want to work with us. So maybe we'll have Rico Hines for a couple years and he leaves, but then the next person that's like Rico Hines is more likely to want to come and step into his spot next and stuff like that. So we got to be okay with catching and releasing, especially with the coaches. The coaches are just going to be that way because we're going to have good people go quick because there's a real problem with coaching in the NBA right now. There's not very many good coaches. I mean, look at the Hornets. They just doubled back on Steve Clifford for this season. That's sad. That's sad. That really speaks that there's not very many good coaches. And Rico's going to get a job somewhere. You're exactly right, Tom Duke. He's going to be on his way. Yeah, I love that. 4 chips right there and 5 Raptors. Let's see what happens. All right, Kareem Thomas is saying Rico Hines puts Pascal Siakam at the top of a list that includes Baron Davis, Monte Ellis, and Kevin Durant. When it comes to the best work ethic he's been around, Orrin Weisfeld. Yes, Orrin Weisfeld, another one of the young reporters on the beat now. And Orrin, you're doing a great job so far this season. You did a good job last year also. Yeah, I mean, that is really an accolade. That is a huge compliment that these are big time names. Baron Davis is one of his best friends, his UCLA guy, and he puts him over that. That says so much. I mean, listen, how I have to think about when they first met. Like Pascal came from New Mexico State. He was really a nobody. He was a nobody. And this was before we drafted him. The Raptors had not even drafted him. He's come for pre-draft. And I wonder if he got this impression about him right away. Like, wow, this guy is really intriguing. He really works hard. I wonder what he's going to be. And at that moment, when he came on board with Pascal, he's got to think about where he was at that time, guys. Like when he showed up at the Raptors, I did not think he was going to be anything like what he's become. I barely thought he'd be a starter. I thought he really was going to be a role player, like defensive rebounder kind of guy. But he's absolutely grown. So there's a lot of like, really feels good, like success, satisfaction from Rico Hines about the path that Pascal has gone since he met him. Like if you think about it, most improved, getting in this starting lineup, making the whole team, everything that he's done, each step, Rico's got to be kind of a little bit beaming on the inside, seeing the progress and what he's gotten from how hard he's worked, Pascal Siakam, and stuff like that at each step. Duke Rocks is saying one thing watching those Rico runs was how effortless the Raps could score. Boucher stated, if you are the new guy here, don't think about scoring. We have enough scoring here. What else can you do? Yeah, that's just the truth. Like, and that's the way it is on a lot of teams. Like, you can't get into scoring hierarchy right away. That they have that kind of stuff covered. It's like, what can you give to the team that contributes to help? And Chris is kind of find that with himself. Is that his scoring isn't as important. It really is his engine and his rebounding and his presence as far as his body being so unique and long. And he really needs to play to his strengths of what makes him so uniquely fantastic as an individual. And that is what you can give to a team. It's not necessarily scoring. A lot of young players come up and they just want to be the scorer and the man. Well, listen, if you want to be a great NBA player, you need to have some skills that really differentiate yourself from other people. It's like Nick Nurse said this summer about Summer League guys. You got to do something that we need, that you do really well. Do one thing that we need really well, like Justin Champagnie with offensive rebounding. If you can do that really well and overwhelmingly well, then we'll find value in having you around. It's like role players and pieces of the puzzle have to fit. We don't want another 20-point scorer. We don't want somebody that can shoot a lot at this point. We have the shooters and stuff. Now we need guys that are going to work hard, rebound, play really good defense and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's that kind of stuff. Lolita's saying 2022 champions, Raptors and Blue Jays. Congratulations to Blue Jays clinching the postseason. Get it in that wild card, y'all. Kick some butt, Blue Jays. Always rooting for the Jays, and I am so happy that they have made the postseason again, finally. After so many times, it's like so much we haven't been in the postseason with the Blue Jays. When they get there, it really is special. So let's make this one count, gentlemen. Go as far as you can. I love it. Let's see. Monique saying, yes, Kareem, I saw that in reference to Pascal. All right. What is this link that Tom Duke has put up? Let's see. YouTube. I want to see what Tom's put up. YouTube. Oops, something went wrong. Okay, the link is dead, Tom. Sorry. True Lolita. Let's see. Tom Dukes, check it out. The interview with Matt Barnes and Rico when they were affiliated with the Kings. Okay, it was a dead link, but I'll try and find it later and stuff like that. Kareem saying at Tom, Rico wearing that Pascal merch in your YouTube link. I'll check it out later. All right. Tom saying Beyond the Paint EP, episode 1, Life After Basketball with Matt Barnes and Rico Hines, moderated by Kyle Draper. Okay. And Bradley's got to big up his guy, Loco Coloco, Rookie of the Year. Yeah, we're going to see Rookie of the Year, Christian Coloco, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. Leslie Hart's here. Good to see Leslie. Rico was probably the best pickup that we made this year. The computer is better than ESPN. Laugh out loud. Well, the computer has no lie to it, no cap. It is just a computer. You give it the numbers, it'll spit it out. And Rico, I don't know. This may be debatable. I think that Coloco over the long run is going to be the most impressive thing that we did this summer. That, like, in the long run, like Cowboys touting him right now. I think that we're going to be like, wow, Christian Coloco. Yeah. But Rico's probably up there. The only thing with Rico is he may have a really good impact on our team, but it may be a very short period of time he's with us. Like, he may only be a assistant coach with us 1 or 2 years. Like, what if we have a really sensational year this year? We win the championship, and then they're like, oh, we need to get Rico Hines on our team for our head coach in Charlotte or something like that. You know, that could very much possibly happen. And I'm just saying for long term, Coloco, because Coloco is going to be something. He's going to be something and stuff like that. But Rico's a great pickup. And so is Otto Porter Jr., Ron Harper Jr., Jeff Doughton Jr. These guys are all great pickups. Wancho's probably going to be a great pickup too. Tom Duke's saying apparently Drake is here in Victoria. Okay, Tom, go hang out with Drizzy. Go hang out with Drizzy, man. Yeah. Tell him about the Raptor Freaks and maybe he'll want to join. Yeah, we'll get Drizzy in with us. Joseph Starks saying the All-Star voting is done by fans. Fans are influenced by the biases NBA media. The All-NBA team is voted by executives, aka people who actually watch the talent. This is why Pascal has 1 All-Star and 2 All-NBA. Yeah, good point, Joseph Starks. This is true. Like, perception is reality to a degree. And that's part of the dangerous thing about controlling perception is about how people in the media and some of the really crooked politicians, all kinds of different people are they fuck up people's minds and make them think crazy things and stuff like that. It's so crazy how the cult of 45, the MAGA people, are so twisted in their head with their perception of reality and what is going on right now at this point. It is sad and scary and stuff like that. They're having a hurricane down there. People's houses are getting destroyed. People are dying. And meanwhile, Donald Trump is soliciting for money for himself. That is despicable and gross and just really messed up, honestly. It's sad. So, the perception of the fans is influenced by ESPN and this bias. And that's part of the sad thing. That's why they all poo-poo us and downgrade us, is because they're taught to do it by their media down there. And that's why we have to do the opposite. We have to be the counterbalance. And that's why we may swing a little harder and over what we're actually going to do. But that is part of counterbalancing the bullshit that's pulling us down the other way. We got to pull it back up the other way and stuff like that. That's really how I look at it. Sure, maybe we're exaggerating how good the Raptors can be. I don't think so. I really, truly believe they can win the championship and they can be the number 1 seed in the East. It's just, other people look like, well, you're way overvaluing them. Well, you're way undervaluing them. And in some place, we find the equilibrium. So just respect that I overvalue them since you undervalue them so much. How about that? That's a really good argument that we can make towards other people. It's like, well, you think we're crazy? Well, I think you're crazy for thinking so low of them, is kind of what I would say to somebody and stuff like that. So Glam is saying Fred's a homebody as well. Yeah, Fred's a family man. I mean, honestly, with a young family like that, he's going to want to get as much time as possible with his son and his daughter and stuff like that. And I'm sure that is really what a huge chunk of his free time is spent, is with them and stuff like that. And he enjoys it. He loves that kind of stuff. Going to the zoo, doing fun things, going swimming with them, all the kind of fun stuff they're doing, dressing them up and going out doing something nice and stuff like that. But yeah, there are a lot of them are homebodies. There was a period of time where we had all these young fathers on our team. Like DeMar just had a kid, Kyle had kids. So they were all very like daddy Raptors. They're all Raptor daddies because they were all like had kids, and that's a different kind of team than the one we have right now. I mean, sure, we have a couple of guys that have kids on our team, like Thad and Fred and stuff like that. But there's a lot of guys on our team that are single and that are young at this point, and it's a little bit of a minefield of folly, possibly with this kind of stuff. But I think these guys, like I said, they're very focused on their careers. Like Gary Trent Jr., like he's a thirst magnet. He's got all these women around the world lusting after him, looking like Lenny Kravitz and all this kind of stuff. Well, he is actually on the record for saying that he is all about his profession and his career and his basketball, and that he doesn't let this kind of stuff be a distraction for him and stuff like that. Sure, I'm sure that he has friends. I'm sure he has friends, but his romantic life is not something that is interfering with his professional life and what he's trying to accomplish as a basketball player. That's very important to him. Sure, he can be a thirst magnet and get all the thirst in all the world coming towards him, but y'all need to realize that's a mirage to a degree, because this man is about his business, and that's his skill in basketball and being better and better and better. And he doesn't want anything to come in between that. And Scotty has the same kind of philosophy. I can tell that there are priorities in these guys' heads as far as what's important in their lives. And somewhere that is in the hierarchy, but it's not above the basketball. That is the number one, because they realize this is where the money comes from. This is what everything else comes from, is from that. And that is the most important thing right from the start. And this is badass because listen, in the history of the NBA, different players have had different priorities and different things. Some players are crazy. Like, they have like a whole different kind of thing that they care about, and they just throw away the game, like Larry Sanders with the marijuana thing. You can think about Bison Dealey way back in the day, otherwise known as Brian Williams, who played for the Chicago Bulls. Like he really wasn't as entranced with basketball at certain times. It's about commitment and what is important in your life. And with a lot of our young Raptors, basketball is number one and won't not be taken off of that top of that list. So it's really interesting stuff. OG is the same thing, stuff like that. So, all right, let me see what else you guys are saying. All right, let's see. Duke's saying, my buddy said the Raps as a team will go to this bar quite often after a game for dinner, but not to party. Also, Raps go to 905 games from a support point of view. That's about all I've ever seen about or heard about them. Yeah, well, that makes sense. They like doing team dinners, so they'll go to places just to go all eat and hang out, but they're not staying late. And I'm sure that very few of them are drinking and stuff like that. That's the difference. Charles Barkley would get drunk every night after the game. These guys were all about getting drunk and partying, and that does damage to your body that has to recuperate if you go out and get hungover the next day. Think about how that like messes up your next day for how you're going to play and practice and stuff like that. You can't really be an alcoholic and be in the NBA. And you can ask Vin Baker or Keon Clark. You want to be somebody who's actually at tip-top shape with your body. And if you're drinking on the regular and getting hungover, that's not helping your thing, because you're tearing your body down every time and having to build it back up. So this is really a conscious, smart decision by these guys in a lot of ways. And I'm sure when they're young prep stars, they make this decision very young. Like they're saying, I'm not going to do any marijuana. I'm not going to do any alcohol, because I'm really focused on being absolute best person that I can be on the court and stuff like that. I really do think these guys think this way. And Duke's, that's interesting intel. Yeah, you see them at the 905 games, just showing up to support and stuff like that. Lolita's saying, Siakam's so thankful that he can play again after his surgery. He's just so positive. I love it. Go Raptors. Yeah, he really is, like I said, lighting up like a light bulb at different places and times. Like when his face just starts smiling and he looks so energetic and just so fresh and just strong and in good shape. Like I feel like he's so powerful right now. Like he has something inside him that it just generates just powerful vibes and strong basketball playing ability and stuff like that. There's very, very interesting things going on with Pascal and stuff like that. I love it, Lolita. Monique saying, guys, even even Pascal's brother Christian is working out with Rico. He has lost so much weight. What does that tell you? Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we did see Christian run around on the court at Rico Hines runs at times in the summer. He is actually involved in a lot of things. I wonder if he has some sort of aspirations in coaching or in different things. Obviously, he's within Pascal's entourage, so he's around for all these kind of reasons. It could also be that Pascal's brothers kind of double for security for him. Those are big gentlemen. So I don't know. It's interesting. I wonder if Christian has interest in becoming a coach or in becoming something more than just being Pascal's brother. And maybe he's gleaning information and knowledge from different places around him from being around in Pascal's bubble in his world and stuff like that. That'd be smart, Christian Siakam and stuff like that. It can't hurt to be around greatness and have it rub off on you and stuff like that. And his brother's definitely great, and so is Rico Hines, and so is the whole entire Raptors organization. So Leslie's saying we are in a special place and only we know it. That is a beautiful thing. That's right. We don't need validation from ESPN or the US or TNT or Charles Barkley and Shaq. We just have our own validation. We know who we are and we know what we're all about. And we're going to do great things this season, no matter what. That's just a guarantee. I'm sorry. I don't want anything to go wrong for our team, but even if some things go wrong for our team, we have a really good, resilient plan for anything to be able to overcome it. And I think we're going to be really, really good no matter what. Stuff like that. There's an article on ESPN. We'll do our ESPN article check today. This morning. It's about how will KD and Kyrie respond after a trauma-filled offseason. Here are the biggest questions still surrounding the Brooklyn Nets. Now, do we have questions like this coming into our season? How will Durant respond to the Nets season of summer of discontent? All right, they did a birthday party for Kevin Durant in practice yesterday, and the clip is really kind of funny. Kevin just looks sour. Like every single picture you see of him, he looks depressed. He looks unhappy. You could take that and just juxtapose that against what I just talked about with Pascal Siakam and how fresh and happy and how he just lights up like a light bulb. Meanwhile, Kevin looks like he burned out as a light bulb. And then he just looks sour. You can see a picture of him on his birthday out on the street, and he just looks pissed. The dude is not happy. You can tell. And even when they did this little birthday party for him in practice, you see Yuta in the background. I feel so bad for him. You can tell Kevin's just kind of like, yeah, great, guys. Thanks. I really appreciate it. And stuff like that. He's not that excited and stuff like that. And you see Ben Simmons being goofy in the video and stuff like that. And like, I really want to talk to Yuta after this season. I want to see how his experience with the Nets goes this year. And it'd be really interesting to hear interviews with him and Takeshi about the difference between his years with Toronto and his year with Brooklyn that's coming up this season. I want to find out because he's going to tell us all kinds of stuff. It's like Toronto is a happy family. Brooklyn, I don't know what's going on here. Kind of thing. I think that's really what's going to happen to him this year. Is Yuta's going to have some amazing stories of contrast between the franchise he just left and the one he's on now and stuff like that. Question number 2 on this silly ESPN thing is, will Kyrie Irving be fully committed member of the team? Well, the vaccine stuff's all out of the way, so he's not going to miss games because of that, but he may still miss games. There's like no guarantee. This guy is kind of like one of these guys that just doesn't play games for some reason sometimes. So I fully expect this to happen. And if you coincide that with Ben Simmons possibly missing games on the regular also, I think Kevin's going to get frustrated partly because of that. That his 2 guys that are supposed to be there with him may not always be there for weird reasons. And that may be a point of frustration for Kevin Durant over the season at some point. So even though the vaccine stuff's not a factor anymore with Kyrie, I think that he may leave anyway. So it's like, well, all right, Ben Simmons ready to play? I don't know. He says he is. He says he's ready to play center, y'all. He said, oh, I'm ready to play point guard. I'm ready to play center. I'll play anything you want, Steve Nash. And Steve Nash, I don't care if he shoots or not. They're just whatever. They're going to say whatever. And so like, I still have no faith in Ben Simmons. Like I said, I think he's a flaky dude, and there's something weird about him. Like they really like. It's amazing how much ESPN and the NBA pushes him as a media darling and somebody that they want to be a superstar in this league so hard. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Maybe I'm like these other people that don't see it with Scotty Barnes the other way right now, and I'm missing something because Scotty himself says Ben Simmons is good and he's a really good player and stuff like that. I don't understand why people don't like Ben Simmons, is what Scotty says. Well, I don't understand why people like Ben Simmons, and then I don't understand why people don't like you, Scotty. So there's a little bit of something going on there. I don't know. And then the other questions that they have about the Nets and their season coming up. How does Nash respond to what happened this summer? I don't know how Nash responds to this. This is such an uncomfortable, horrible position. In some ways, his nuts are chopped right now. Like, really, Steve, like Kevin Durant doesn't want you as the coach. That has to be totally feeling wrong, like tough, and how to deal with that. Like, this is not, you don't have more power than him in some ways. He does have more power than you because he's the guy who actually has to exert the stuff on the court. And that this could go really badly. The relationship between Steve Nash and Kevin Durant, I don't care if he says that we've known each other for a long time and everything. I can see this going really badly for them and stuff like that. I mean, he's on the record saying he has no confidence in him. And then the last question they're asking about the Nets this season is, what are the Nets going to do at center? Well, they're going to play Ben Simmons at center. Go ahead. Ooh, we like that up north. You go ahead and play Ben Simmons at center. We'll beat the shit out of him. We'll fuck him up. We'll bring our big 6'9" vision up against him, and we will fuck him up. Go ahead and play Ben Simmons at center. I dare you. I would love for y'all to do that. We will fuck him up is what we'll do. I think the smarter option is Claxton. I know Claxton's a little slight and he's a little young, but it probably would be the smarter decision for the Nets. That's the thing. Some of these teams are not that big up front. The Sixers went ahead and got bigger up front, and that is going to really help them this season. That they saw playing us in the playoffs that we got to get beef. We got to get PJ Tucker and Montrezl Harrell on this team. Meanwhile, Miami and the Brooklyn Nets have gotten smaller. And that's not the direction you want to be going this season. I'm going to tell both those franchises right now. Y'all look smaller, and y'all are going to get bullied. You're going to get beat up and beat down by Vision 6'9" coming from the north. So, yeah, Philly got the wake-up call and the warning in the playoffs when we played them. The other teams don't realize this, and it may be too late. So, yeah, that's something I'm seeing right there. Oh, my gosh. All right, G's here. Good morning, freaks. And ESPN Rankings has Raps at 4th. Yeah, computer said that, not any of the writers. So the computer is more factual. That's right. Duke Rocks is saying, I have to check that, G. Seeing is believing. Well, it's like I said, Duke, it has nothing to do with what the writers did. They put the statistics in the computer, and the computer spit out the printout, and it said we're number 4. So that's it. Yeah. It's on their NBA front page is where it is. Tom Duke saying, on our way up, getting noticed already. How could they not appreciate what we got? They don't want to know. They don't want to talk about it. They make it more attractive, then there'll be more Raptor fans down south, more money coming to Canada and stuff like that. So there's different reasons. Duke saying, coming from ESPN, that would be a shock. Well, like I said, it's the computer that said it. It's a statistical analysis from a program. Let's see, straight facts. Lolita's saying at Mo, Christian Siakam used to play also, right? I'm pretty sure they have all played to varying levels of success, all of the Siakam brothers. Alistair saying, I remember DeMar holding his 1-year-old before games. Yeah, see, there's different stages of the Raptors, like franchise and the makeup. You know, when Vince was here, there was a very much an old guard that was around the youngsters, him and Tracy, that they had Muggsy, Dell, Charles, Kevin Willis, Antonio Davis, Chris Childs, people like that, Mark Jackson, and they were older kind of vets with younger guys. Well, there's been different mixes of different like ages and places where guys are in their life. And really the Kyle and DeMar years near the end, we're really getting into like, we're all baby daddies and we all have young children and stuff like that. And now it's more of these young guys, very young guys that are single and just kind of starting their careers more on our team than guys like Thad and Fred who have families already and stuff like that. So, it's a different vibe. It's a different vibe in some ways. But that's the thing. If you can have these guys that are free and single and don't have to worry about their kids or anything like that, they have more time to put into work and like working on their game and stuff. Like if Scotty had a kid already or something like that, it would probably take away from some of the stuff he's able to do right now. So these guys, it's like what I'm saying is they've chosen not to have more distractions in their life by really focusing on basketball, whether it's going out, whether it's having a girlfriend that's on blast and in public with them and stuff like that. These are things that can cause distractions and problems for them and what they're trying to do and stuff like that. So G's saying Duke rocks. They even had a post on YouTube with one analyst saying they had the best front court. Masai had them shook. Interesting. I love it. Hey, anytime they're talking us up and giving us some of the kudos that we deserve, I'm all about it. Let's see. Gary knows how to get attention with his outfits. That's right. Gary can be his thirst trap. and get all the love and stuff. Like, who knows? I don't know what these guys are doing. Maybe there is a little bit of Showtime stuff going on in hotels late at night and stuff like that. That's none of my business. That's none of my business. They can do whatever they want in their time off and stuff like that. But who knows? Who knows? As long as it's not becoming an issue or a problem or any of this kind of stuff, then you don't want Ben Roethlisberger or Kobe Bryant kind of problems. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Duke saying, question: if Siakam led the league in ISO plays, how the heck did he not come close to leading the league in free throws? Masai has to have a talk with Silver. Yeah. All right. There's something I'm really, really feeling confident and happy about. Joe Dumars being in charge of the officials this year is going to be a huge change in some ways. I really do believe this. He's a very fair person. In fact, I love what he's talking about, this take foul. And he counted that it happened 1,700 times last season. That's so many plays where we got robbed of a fast break finish with like a dunk or something amazing and stuff like that. And that this take foul rule change is going to really help things. Well, one of the things that Nick is saying right now in training camp, and he's kind of really focusing on, he wants our guys to get to the free throw line more often. That in some ways, the way we set up the offense, it isn't conducive to getting Pascal to the line. But that is true also. He's not getting calls that he should be getting. That when he gets slapped on the hand half the time, they're not calling it. He's just going up and he's just trying to fight through the physicality and score no matter what. And he's yelling and one, and he's not getting the and one. There's been so many cases where he probably should have got one. And this is very directly kind of related to the Tim Donaghy special this summer. Is like they can decide it when they want to call fouls and help different players out in different things. Oh, they don't want to help Michael here. They want to hurt Michael here. They want to help Iverson here. They want to hurt Iverson here. That's very, very like calculated. And they've decided they're not going to give Pascal free throws like a superstar deserves. And that hurts his scoring average too. So it is all very insidious and awful. Well, he's just got to be that overpowering and that so much that they have to respect him and say, get this man on the line. And we want to see that this year. Nick Nurse has brought it up already in training camp. He wants the guys to get the free throw line more often. Let's see how they do it. And let's see if they can get the respect of the refs for this. I hope that Joe Dumars being in charge of the refs this year brings a real law and order to things. Then maybe he's seen this Donaghy thing and the perception of the referees' brotherhood and how they run things and things from that. They need to get away from that. Less Philadelphia refs, more refs from all over the place. And really, seriously, get Scott Foster to retire. That man needs to fucking go. And do as much as you can, Joe Dumars, to help make the integrity of the referees look fair on both sides. Get Pascal Siakam to the free throw line this year. That's what I'm saying, because we can see it. We can see him. He's getting to the lane, and he's getting just as much contact as big-time scorers on any other team, and he's not getting the respect he deserves for absorbing that contact and getting the N1s and stuff like that. So, yeah, I like it. I like what you're saying, Duke, and I think as Joe Dumars, hopefully new sheriff in town, things will be different in the officiating this year because he's in charge now. Let's see. G saying, yes, Lolita. There was a segment on the Raptors, and of course, Perkins, when it was his turn, made it about Cleveland, but there was a segment on them. All right. Hey, if they're talking about us, they better, because they got to catch up and be ready. Because if they don't start talking about us now, they're going to have to at some point this season. We're going to force them to. We're going to force them to have to talk about the Raptors this year. Monique saying, Pascal and Christian live together here in Toronto. James is married, if you didn't know. JYD also had his brother live here with him in the early days. Well, that's just common. Like people will have family members living with them, especially if they're helpful. You know, it could be a sister. It could be a mother. His mother lives with him also. So he's got his brother and his mother living in the house with him in St. Clair West over there. So, yeah, I mean, that just makes sense. Like his other brother's married. He's going to go have his married life. Well, Christian can come and be there with him. And like I said, he's got so much to worry about. Christian is kind of like one of these people that helps him with everything around him, whether it's being protective of him as a kind of security guy. Maybe he's helpful with his mail. Maybe he helps with like day-to-day errands and things that Pascal needs done and helps him out in those kind of ways. You know, I'm sure he helps him in all kinds of different ways. And that Pascal really appreciates having his brother Christian around him and stuff like that. All right, let's see. G saying, do the Raptors have the best front court in the East on ESPN YouTube? I don't watch them, but popped in my feed, and I thought it was clickbait at first, but it wasn't. That's cool. You know what? That's an interesting topic. I've never really thought about them having the best front court because everybody's always saying, "Oh, we don't have a center" and all this kind of stuff. But in a way, maybe we do. I mean, maybe they say that because we have such a plethora of front court players that we can choose from and put different people in. Maybe it's because we got Koloko all of a sudden and they're kind of intrigued by his presence and what he could possibly be and stuff like that. This is really weird content coming out from ESPN right now. They really treat us in weird ways. They're gonna put this out. Okay, I'll take it. I haven't watched it, so maybe I'll go watch it after this. Duke saying that would be great for Koloko to have Siakam as a roommate. Thanks, man. No, it's not Christian that lives with him. It's Christian Siakam. There's two Christians. There's Christian Koloko and Christian Siakam. She's saying that Christian Siakam, his brother, lives with him. Koloko's not living with him. There's a difference there. David's saying, did you see Ben Simmons on media day? Laugh out loud. Reporter, we will see you out on the court this season. Ben said, I think so. That's the plan anyway. That's what I'm saying. He's so aloof. He's so casual. He's such a flopper. Like when they did the JJ Redick interview with him, they started off and he's like, he comes in and the first thing he says to JJ is, I apologize for not showing up the first 2 times we tried to do this. That's all you need to hear is that this dude flops. This dude doesn't show up. This dude is not somebody you can depend on. He's not like that. This is like you can depend on Pascal to show up and be they're practicing 2 hours before everybody else is there. But with Ben Simmons, you can't even depend on whether he's going to show up or not. And we saw that all last season. And I know it's different reasons. I don't want to poo-poo that stuff. But yeah, it's really easy to make excuses when you want to and not be there. And I think this dude tends to go in that direction and stuff like that. David, that is hilarious. I saw that too. And I was like, man, I have no faith in him. And if I was Kevin Durant and I saw that interview, I'd be like, fuck this guy. He's not committed. Like, who the fuck is this guy? I'm like, I'm on the clock. I'm running out of time in my career. I want to get another championship. And this motherfucker's wishy-washy about whether he's going to show up. Get me out of here is what Kevin's saying. Oh my gosh. Yeah. He ain't playing ball ever again, that guy. That's what you think. That's what you think. Yeah, maybe he's a con artist. Maybe he's just grifting teams for big checks. And he's just going to be like, yeah, oh, I can't play. I don't know. Who knows? That's what I'm saying. You want dependability. You want people to show up, people that are there for you when you need them. Not like DeAndre Ayton dropping the ball in the playoffs. You weren't there for us. Not like Ben Simmons is not showing up or Kyrie Irving. That's what I'm saying. Pascal Siakam showing up there every day and more time than anybody else and stuff like that. Shane Waters is here. TGIF. Tom and Joseph have a great time representing the West Coast Raptor Freak fam. Wish I could be there today. I expect a pick with the two of you and Scotty Barnes, Big Four. Yes, Shane Waters, too bad you couldn't make it, but I understand you had other obligations and things you had to take care of that, you had to get on a plane and different things to get there and stuff like that. It's a big undertaking. So, but your spirit is there also. I know that Tom will hold your spirit there with him and stuff like that. Big ups, bam, 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 to the West Coast crew. Such a big day for our West Coast Raptor freaks. I'm so happy for you guys, and I'm really excited to hear what Tom sees and Joseph Stark sees. Both of you guys, bring us your reports tomorrow in the live stream. I'm really, really going to be dependent on y'all to give us some inside stuff like we have on this channel that we get and glean that nobody else finds in other content. You guys can tell us that insider stuff that nobody else will be talking about because you'll be there on there. All right, we see Cool Cat is here. I hope I didn't miss too much. It's all good, Cool Cat. You know how it is. Catch up and see what we've been saying. And then, if you missed stuff at the beginning, you can always just review the beginning of it and stuff like that and see what we said. G saying Pascal scored 49 to 50% from the field through a lot of contact at times. That's been the learning curve for him, is that like we got onto him as fans and stuff, but we don't realize the undertaking he's having is so difficult because first of all, the referees aren't giving him calls. They're going to hit him even harder because they know they can get away with it. And he's still having success in finishing and in scoring and stuff like that. He is a badass. He is a badass. He's going the hardest route. Like if there's like different roads that he could have taken, he's taken the absolute hardest route to go through. And this is why it's paying off on such huge dividends and making him look so badass and him looking like he could be a top 5 player in this league is because he went the hard route. The fire was so intense that it's tempered him into steel and made him so hardened that this is what he says when he says, we've gone through the fire, you've gone through the hard times. It makes you into something, it hardens you. And that's what he's talking about. And this is so true with him. This is so true with Pascal. And it is amazing that he makes that high percentage of his shots, considering what he's fighting through. Like two or three defenders, no referee help, and he still makes the basket. And when he doesn't make it, we look at him like he's a failure. So he's like got a lot of pressure in some ways, but he deals with it so well. He deals with it so well. Cool Cat saying, Chinny on ESPN is good friends with Pascal's sister. Okay, well that's good. Hopefully they're nicer to him because of that. Pascal and his brother Christian live together. He manages all the family stuff so Pascal can focus on basketball. I remember one show Pascal didn't know where his trophies are. It was funny. Is camera allowed today in practice session? Well, this is the thing. They're going to do their normal morning practice this morning with no cameras, no media or anything. And then they'll do their interviews like they've been doing all week. And then they're going to open up the gym. And for their night practice, that will be all open for people to watch. That will be what Tom and Joseph are at. So they'll get to watch them do their regular practice for a little while. And then at some point, they're going to stop and they're going to break up the two teams into an open scrimmage. And they'll have two teams playing against each other. So I guess they're going to have two teams of 10 against each other and just subbing guys in and out. And that will be the really fun part for everybody there, is getting to see these guys play in that way in the scrimmage and stuff. So that's kind of how it's going to work. And of course, all this is tonight. And I'm not even sure if they're doing it at the same location that they've been doing their practices. I think that the venue that they're actually having the thing tonight that Tom and Joseph are going to is not actually at University of Victoria in the same building. So that's part of it too. They're going to switch venues to another venue for their night practice. But they've been doing 2-a-days all week, morning and evening practices and stuff like that. So they'll do the morning practice today, normal, quiet, nobody sees anything. But the stuff at night, yeah, they'll be able to see stuff. And I don't know, Tom, I don't know. You said you're going to go in there and film stuff. Maybe film a little bit. I don't know. Monique saying so much to look forward to. This is so true, Monique. We're just on the cusp, the edge of the season. We've got a game on Sunday in 2 days from now. I love this so much. This is, I know how you feel right now. You feel so giddy and happy that we're about to start this ride once again, the whole entire NBA season. Because I know that the offseason is not where Monique is happiest. She's happiest when the Raptors are on TV or she's at games watching them play. And this is coming. This is coming. I know I'm the same place as you. All right, let me just look around and make sure I caught everything I wanted to say today. A lot of it is just about Rico Hines today and that great interview he had last night and him talking about Siakam and his fit on the team with the Raptors, with Rico being a coach there now and stuff like that. Just fantastic stuff. Once again, he is addicted to greatness. This is what Rico's saying about Pascal. He's addicted to greatness. This doesn't have to do with a choice. He has an addiction problem. He can't help it. He has to be at the gym way earlier and stay later and just continuously work, and be number one on Rico Hines' hardest working player in all time list and stuff like that. That is just a beautiful, amazing thing. Ken Birch, we found out the answers why torn meniscus that happened this whole season. This is why the man looked like he was not working right. Just real quick, I want to say I'm wearing the orange shirt today because today is a Indigenous Reconciliation Day, and the Raptors are full on talking about it today with National Day of Truth and Reconciliation, and we're talking about things about Indigenous populations and things on this continent, and especially here in Canada today. So wear orange in support of this cause and stuff like that, just like the Raptors are today. So even tonight, I think they'll be wearing the orange, Tom. So be ready to see that. Let's see. Blake Murphy is reporting that Canada has lost their semifinal game to USA last night in Australia. Women's Canadian basketball team lost. So they're going to be going to the bronze game. It was not close. It was pretty ugly, actually. It was 10-0 right from the start. And at some point it was 22-7. And then, USA just took off on them and messed them up. Yeah, so they were playing a lot of the end of bench players near the end of the game, and Canada is in the bronze game. So they are still playing for something. I don't know who they're going to play in that game. I should maybe find that out. But yeah, it's too bad. It's too bad that U.S. is undefeated in this whole tournament and period of time. So it's going to be it's tough. It's too bad. US beat them. So now they're going to be playing for third. And it's just how it is. Moving into the next part, DeMar DeRozan has a really interesting interview out right now that has so much in it. There's so many different bombs that DeMar has been dropping. He said that like playing for San Antonio felt like he was like hidden and like not relevant in the league. And I see some truth to that. I mean, he wasn't getting all-stars there, and they weren't getting that much attention because they were pretty down. But the thing that he was really talking about that just blew me away was that he really pretty much thought he was going to be a Laker the summer before he became a Chicago Bull. That it was all set up, and he is in Mexico and he was vacationing, and then he heard all of a sudden they went and got Westbrook, and he was like, "What the fuck?" And that all messed up that whole plan. This is something where the Lakers completely screwed up. Like, this is such a fail. You should have had DeMar DeRozan on the Lakers the last couple years. Lakers, I would have been rooting for y'all if you had DeMar on your team. And DeMar and LeBron are a great pairing. We saw it at Drew League this summer that they absolutely enjoy playing together. All those years of LeBron hurting DeMar because of the Cleveland, Toronto stuff in the early 2010s and stuff like that. There is pain there, but there's something about them being together. And he should have been playing for the Lakers. That's a dream of DeMar's. How the fuck did they fuck this up? You fumbled the ball so bad, Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss, on this one. That is one of the stupidest moves that franchise has ever made, getting Russell Westbrook and blocking DeMar DeRozan from being on your team. You will have to live with this for the rest of your life. You guys might have won a championship in the last 2 years if DeMar DeRozan had been playing next to LeBron James. That's your own fuck up, and that's your problem. What a woulda, coulda, shoulda. This is something crazy to me. It's such a perfect fit. It would have fit so well, and LeBron wanted this. He didn't want Russell on his team. He wanted DeMar, and y'all fucked it up. You totally fumbled the ball, Lakers. And now you get to deal with it and all this kind of stuff. I hope Chris's Sports Corner is going off about this today, about how they fucked up when they didn't bring DeMar in and they chose Russell instead. What a huge fuck up by the Lakers. I cannot say this enough. Like, I can't believe that. They totally screwed that up. Oh my gosh. All right, let me see what you guys are saying here. Basketball back in no time. Let's go Raptors. Yes, Escobar Cruz. Good to see a new name in here. Please subscribe, sir. We're going to be here every morning all season long, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. If you want to talk Raptors every day and have your voice heard, the Raptor Freak channel is the place, because I will read every single comment and I will highlight what you're saying. And I love what you're saying. First comment in here. Please hit that subscribe button and come back and join us another time too, because we are here every day. And we will be talking about everything that's happened to Raptors in the last day or so. Did I get a new mic? No, I didn't get a new mic. It may not happen right away, Monique. It was really more for the thing that I wanted to do with like reacting to interviews and stuff like that. But we're going to have to see. Yeah, U.S. really beat Team Canada last night. It sucks. G saying Lakers Nation is in shambles from that interview. Yeah, they're totally upset with woulda, coulda, shoulda. Like, they understand the gravity of what would have happened there. They see what DeMar does. He's a real one. What a difference it would have been. Russell's been a complete failure on the Lakers. This would have been a totally different turn for them. They would have been so much better with DeMar next to them, the way he works and all this kind of stuff. They really fucked up. They fucked up so bad in LA. Oh my gosh. And yeah, Lakers Nation is going crazy about this, and they are pissed. This is actually great because this makes more problems for them, that they're going to be second guessing things, just like Boston's going to be second guessing things this year with Udoka leaving at the beginning of the season. They're going to second guess things because of DeMar, left and right. They were probably already doing that. Monique saying Kia must be bummed, but glad she's got back to playing again. Yeah, I'm so happy for Kia Nurse and the ladies. They've done so well. They need to get that bronze, though, Bridget Carlton and all the rest of them. Get that bronze and at least medal. That is important. This next game is very important. I'm not even sure who they're playing in the bronze medal game, but they need to just win and get that bronze medal in this. Do it, Canada's women's. Yeah, Omari saying, what's good, folks? What's good, Omari Parsons? Yes, Raptor Freak Omari Parsons. Always good to see you. And Bradley saying, have a good day, everyone. I got to go, Lex. Death 4K is here. He's saying Embiid said he's the best player in the East. Whatever. Let him say whatever. He's just so happy to be American now and stuff like that. Embiid is a goof. Embiid is a big goof. He is not the best player in the East. Giannis is. And yeah, whatever. He can say whatever he wants to say and stuff like that. I've watched some of the practice stuff with Philadelphia that came out in the last day. There's a whole section where Doc is talking to James Harden. And some people are saying, oh, we love this access. We love hearing all this stuff. Well, I do too, because I get to read what's going on there. And there's so much shakiness with their team and so much they're trying to work out. Like in that clip, Doc is trying to tell James to be more aggressive and you just need to go do this more and do this more. Stop doing, not doing this. And he's saying the same kind of stuff to Maxey in another clip that's like this. He's having trouble motivating his guys for some reason. We don't have that problem up here in Toronto, but they're having a little bit of problems with like figuring out what they want them to do. And could you do this more? Please, James, please do this more. No, just go ahead and do this, please, is what Doc's saying to them. But Philly fans really excited because they get an inside view of what's going on there. Well, I wouldn't be too happy about what I was seeing because it looks like there's a lot of basic shit going on there with what Doc's trying to tell them. And once again, we're playing chess while they're playing checkers in their training camp. They're definitely playing some checkers down in Philadelphia, and they're playing checkers down in Sacramento with their running sprints and stuff like that. And meanwhile, we're up here playing chess. Like we are already at an advanced level in training camp this past week, and these people are just trying to sort things out down there. It's like Doc was pleading with James, please try harder, do more, do this, go do this, please, is what it looked like to me in that whole part. Yeah, it was really interesting. Death saying, how's it going, everyone? Man, this is a great day. That we have our open practice charity scrimmage tonight, and Tom Duke and Joseph Starks and other people are going to get to see these Raptors in person. This is really the first big event of the season, and I'm so happy that we got people on the ground that are going to be looking for our eyes and telling us what happens tonight and stuff like that. Yeah. Omari saying, Embiid's a goof. Laugh out loud, all talk and airplanes, nothing to show. Sure, let him go ahead and do that. He says he's so proud to be American. That's fine. That's great. Well, what are you? Are you Cameroonian, French, or American? Are you going to try and play for the U.S. team now, Joel, because you became an American citizen? I wouldn't put that past him. He's that much of a turncoat that he turned his back on Cameroon to go play for Team France this summer. And now he'll turn around and turn his back on Team France to come play for Team USA. That just says a lot about him. I'll bet you he will do that. Death saying Doc called Tobias elite in one of those clips. Tobias is okay. I mean, he's a good player, but come on. Who are you kidding there, Doc Rivers? Death saying Jokic is a way better center than Embiid could ever be. Partly just because of his passing and certain things and stuff like that. I love what these guys are saying about the European game compared to the NBA game, that it's much harder to score over in FIBA basketball than it is in the NBA basketball. That Giannis, Luka, and Nikola all said the same thing. And I believe them. That there's some things about the NBA rules that make it easier for you to score here, and that you really have to earn your shit and stuff like that. Omari's saying not even the same board game. They're playing snakes and ladders. I know this isn't even like close. Like there's something really weird here. Like they're in preschool and we're in Mensa and stuff like that. There's something really weird going on here. It's like we just have that platform, that springboard that's up above and beyond all the other teams in the league to leap off of. Like we built so much up with Rico Hines this summer, and just the continuity between having 13 returning players from last season. We don't have to go through a general orientation and say, this is how we do things here. People know, and we can give them the advanced level courses on what Raptors basketball is all about this training camp, and really implement another level to it. And so, meanwhile, other people have to start from the bottom, the beginning, and restart all over. No, we're building off of something that we built last year, and that is really, really an advantage that people aren't talking about enough. Death saying they're trying to get Harden to move off ball, but that is never happening, not in his future. Yeah, it's weird. He's a point guard at this point. He should be distributing the ball. They're saying dumb shit. Like somebody said that they think he can still be that Harden in Houston. And that partly is because of his conditioning, the way he's taking care of himself this summer, that they think he can actually be Houston Harden again. I don't believe it. I think that he'll be more of what he was last year for them. He'll be a great point guard distributor, and he'll shoot when he wants to. But like I said, some of that clip is Doc telling James to be more aggressive and take shots more. Go ahead and be selfish. He's like, this isn't a democracy. I want you to be selfish and just take over and stuff like that. That's what he's saying to him. So he's pleading with him to be more aggressive. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. James is going to be James and stuff like that. Let's see. Monique saying they should show the Raptor scrimmage on TV in the future. Am I right? Yeah, I think that people would be entertained and enjoy that, but I don't know if and executives realize that people would want to watch that. They'd probably be like, "No, we can't put that on. Who's going to watch a practice? We're practice. We're talking practice, Monique. Practice." Well, Raptor fans will watch it. We would love to watch it. You are so stupid, TSN and Sportsnet, if you don't think you could put that on TV tonight and you get huge viewership. So yeah, figure it out. Get more in touch with your market and realize what the content is we want on there. We maybe want to watch that a little bit more than curling or something like that. I'm going to tell you that right now. We'd much rather watch a Raptors Open practice that's not even a real game than a curling match tonight. If you got a choice on your programming, go ahead, figure it out. Let's see. Def 4K is saying OG plus Trent and picks for Shea. What are your thoughts? Nope. No. No. Why? 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 First of all, SG, I love him. He's a great, talented player. He's Canadian. I'd love for him to be a Raptor someday. But right now, we're Vision 6'9". He doesn't jive with that completely. He is a smaller player in some ways. We don't need this. We don't need this. That's too much giving up. I wouldn't trade OG straight up for him, just one-on-one at this point. I would not. Seriously. In fact, I think OG's more better player than him that have on your team on the download just because of the two ways and the different things he does. I would not, I definitely wouldn't put Trent with him to go that way. And then you're talking about picks also. Fuck that deal. That is a horrible deal. I would not take this deal, especially SGA's hurt right now. And his contract's not that good for us. Let's let him play in Oklahoma City for a little while. And then let's revisit him coming here maybe in 3 or 4 years. How about that? But no, this is premature. And this is just the flavor of the week. Everybody wants to talk about SGA coming here. Drake put something on his IG and everybody's talking about it. They're making up how it could happen and stuff like that. All right, fuck this. Let's not even go near this. This is a pipe dream. And we're set. He would mess up our chemistry and all kinds of different things really bad because we'd have to figure out how to fit him in. And we don't want to have to do that. Def 4K saying Harden is not getting 40% usage anymore. And with Maxey developing, Harden can't play that level anymore. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of that. They have to be realistic about what they expect offensively from James. They really do. He may be in better shape and he may be shooting better, but they can't expect him to be dropping 40, 50 points. And they don't want him, all their offense to completely go through him shooting. They want him to pass more. I would be smart. They would be smart to let him be the point guard and let Maxey play off the ball and stuff like that. Joseph's saying, it was actually LeBron who wanted Westbrook. I was shocked when I heard this. Stephen Ace goes off about this. You serious? That doesn't sound right. That's not what I heard. But really? I may be wrong. Because I thought that LeBron really wanted DeMar to be on his team. And it's like all along they'd been talking about it. And it was kind of like the GM played a power move on LeBron and pissed him off and went and got Westbrook instead. And that was part of the reason why they never really fit, is because LeBron never really wanted him here. But I may be completely wrong. You might be right. But because I look at how they got along so well this summer at Drew League, DeMar and LeBron, they were really peas in a pod and really enjoyed running together there and stuff like that. So Cool Cat saying, I like Shea on the Canadian team. We should not get him on Raps. We can't afford him right now. Also, he's not a defensive type player. There's good points right there. It's like I said about Donovan Mitchell. Why would I not want Donovan Mitchell? Is because of defensive stuff. And he's trying to say that he'll try and play defense for Cleveland this year. Okay, you try and flip a switch all of a sudden, make yourself a defensive player in the league. See how that works. If you weren't trying already to do this in your career, you're not going to be able to do it now. So what makes you think you can just turn on a switch and become a defensive style player in Cleveland? You're kidding yourself, Donovan Mitchell. So yeah, and like she said, there's too much going the other way. Like I hate that deal that you just said there, Death. Like that is a horrible deal for the Raptors. That is not a good one. He's 6'6" with a 7-foot wingspan. I mean, we probably figure out and make it work. It's just too much. Like we have so much complete and fitting right now. And there's no reason to do it right now. Like we're in the middle of our training camp, about to start the season. I don't understand why this talk is going on. I really don't. And I'm just kind of like ignoring it all at this point. I don't see it as anything other than like what Jake was doing to OG this summer, saying, oh, OG's unhappy, doesn't want to be there. They're saying the same thing about him right now. We don't know if he's unhappy. He could very well be fine with being in Oklahoma City and stuff like that. This is a lot of just made up shit, I think. So, G saying LeBron and AD had dinner with Westbrook before the trade. LeBron wanted Westbrook to carry regular season. Okay. Well, LeBron's an idiot then. They're both idiots and stuff like that. So LeBron kind of stuck it to DeMar and stuff like that. Well, he deserves what he gets then. Stuff like that. All right, let's see. Cool Cat saying Scotty is also our point guard. That would be a problem. Scotty would leave. Exactly. You guys got to think about the whole big picture of like pieces and how they're moving through our franchise and whether they're coming or going. And Scotty's coming into our franchise and he wants to be the point guard. And I want to have all 6'9" guys. We have a 6'9" shooting guard also next to him. Boom. We have all 6'9" guys throughout the whole lineup. And Scotty's our point guard. Why wouldn't we want to do this? That seems like a very strength thing to do is to have that. They say we have the best front court. Well, maybe we'll have the best back court because both of our guys are 6'9" in like the next couple years. Like OG and Scotty are our starting backcourt with bigger guys at the other three spots. What's wrong with that? Hello, that's amazing. All right, let's see. Duke Rocks is saying what boggles my mind is how people devalue Raps players and up the value of U.S. based players. Simmons versus Siakam, what they wanted for Donovan Mitchell, KD, I kind of understood, but still. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's it's kind of insidious because it kind of like devalues our guys and then they try and fleece us to get them. Well, I'm just glad that Masai and Bobby are very staunch and stubborn about not getting messed up and like screwed over in a deal. That they're not going to let anybody pull a fast one on them for sure. Def 4K saying that's not the deal I want, but people are saying, I know you don't want that deal, but that's the one they're putting out there. And that's why I say that's a silly deal. That's a horrible deal for SGA. We wouldn't want that one from there. Forget the other side, Oklahoma City fans saying, no, we don't want those guys for him. We'd rather keep them. Well, we don't want it the other way. So that's why this is so stupid, all this SGA talk right now. It's so dumb. It's so not realistic. It's just a distraction. It's just a flavor of the week. People like the idea of it. So they're just like talking about it a lot up here. Well, it's really not realistic. In some ways, this is kind of like the opposite of what Raptor fans do sometimes. They're like very being positive and pie in the sky and dreaming. But I have to be the reality in this case. Like sometimes I'm the one who's not very grounded in reality in this. And right now I'm going to be grounded in reality. So you guys stop fucking talking about SGA. There's no point. There's no reality to this. You know, you guys go ahead, make up your fan fiction about him playing for the Raptors very soon. But it's not happening. All right, let's see. G saying OG and Trent are huge for the Raptors on defense. I don't think some fans understand how much defense they play and how valuable this is. Yeah, a lot of young fans just look at dunks. They look at LaMelo Ball and the way he plays, and they love that kind of shit. It's not fundamentally right. It's not fundamentally good. And that's what I care about. I'm looking at fundamentals. I'm looking at defensive pillars. I'm looking at rebounding. I'm looking at important things that championship winning teams have. And that's what we have here. And people devalue that. They don't value it enough as Raptor fans. That's why the Kem Birch thing really pisses me off because he should be valued and championed in a lot of ways. And it's just dumb fans of our nation that don't really understand basketball. They like see stats or they see highlights and they think they know everything just from that. There's intangibles. There's little things. There's things that these guys do that don't get marked on a score sheet. And that is the stuff we're talking about right here. Yeah. Let's see. Raymond Jacobs bringing up a fantasy team. Lex, I have SGA on my fantasy team. Should I trade him? No, you should not, Raymond. You should keep him. He's one of your best players, and he's going to be fantastic for you. He's going to be hurt for the beginning of the season, and you may need to get somebody to come and fill in his spot for a little while, but he's a fantastic player, and you should be so happy to have him. Everything I'm saying about him is not to slight him. I would love to have him on my team. So value him, Raymond Jacob, and play him with confidence when he's healthy and stuff like that. Okay, let's see. Nameless is saying it's Jordan Clarkson I'd prefer to the bench, but I'm more than comfortable doing nothing at this point. Yeah, Nameless, I'm with you. Good to see you, Nameless, by the way. I don't like Jordan Clarkson as much as some other Raptor fans do right now. And everybody keeps saying, oh, we get him to get this and have this and this. I'm like, why? Why do we need to do this? Let's not upset the balance and chemistry we have on our team at this point. We have more than enough cooks in the kitchen at this point. It's not, I'd much rather test these guys that we got that are new, you know, like Wancho and Otto and how they fit into our stuff than go and try and get other guys, you know, stuff like that. So let's see. Cool Cat saying teams don't want to trade with the Raptors. They're trying to block us out. So we get our players from around the globe and undrafted workers. lower draft, and players that have flamed out. Raptors fan base is a vast global phenomenon, so there will be many opinions. So now we have to get accustomed to all types of perspectives. Yes, for sure. Like my perspective and a lot of our perspectives here is similar in a way, but there are Raptor fans that are more cynical and they're maybe a little bit more dissecting things and saying, well, this is this and this. And I don't mind that. I don't mind people that want to be grounded in facts, but don't be so grounded in facts that you're sewering our team for no reason. There's no reason to sewer our players or our team. Our team is really good and we have really great players and stuff like that. But about the other comment, Cool Cat, I don't think it's necessarily that they don't want to trade with us. They want to trade with us. They'd love to get OG from us. Portland wanted OG so bad this summer. Dame Lillard has publicly said that he wanted OG on his team for this year coming up. It's that we're very smart about not trading just to trade, and that we really want to look at it and make sure that it's something good for us, that'll be a positive. And the other thing is the phenomena of other teams may not want to trade with us because they're worried about us pulling a fast one on them, that Masai has fleeced the New York Knicks in the past. And now other teams may be like, we're going to deal with Toronto. We really need to watch out. And they may be a little sensitive to that factor. That is actually part of the reason why the Kyle Lowry trade didn't go through, is they got burned by the Bargnani trade in New York. And then they were kind of like, well, let's not let them do this again to us. So they didn't take Lowry. They did it the wrong way that time. It was so funny and stuff like that. So when teams want to trade with us, they want to decimate us in the end. Well, this is the way the whole league is. We all want to beat each other and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, there's some teams that trade with us that are actually really good trade partners. Like the Spurs are one. They also trade with us. We made a trade with them in the season last year, and it was very helpful to both teams in different ways. So it's that kind of finding that right combination of a deal that it's like works out for both teams, where it's attractive to them and stuff like that. And maybe if it's not attractive to them a year later, like the Lowry deal, but it was at that time. All right, let's see. I heard a suggestion with Otto as the fifth starter, bench mob with Achua and Gary Trent Jr. This is the thing he said, like Nick Nurse 2 days ago, that he has a bunch of different starters. I don't know if Otto's actually considered somebody he wants to start this year. And that may be telling, because he was a starter on the champion Golden State team, that he comes to our team and he's not even really actually one of our top 6 or 7 guys that's going to start. I don't think Otto's going to be in the mix to start. I just don't think it'll happen. I may be completely wrong, though, and he is in the starting lineup from time to time, but I don't see it right now. I think it really will be a mix and match with like Precious coming into the starting lineup, depending on whether we have a big person we have to play, and eventually Cam, when he finally gets his health completely okay, he could be the guy who's getting switched into the starting lineup for time to time. It's very similar to what he did last year with these guys. But really, that's the way Nick looks at it. He has like 6 or 7 starters, and it's just plug in and play who he wants. Now, the baseline that everybody's saying is when he has his 5 best and they're available, they always start. And we know who those guys are. They're the 5 from last year: Fred, Gary, OG, Pascal, and Scotty. But depending on things, he may switch Precious into the starting lineup from time to time. He may switch, I don't know, maybe even Koloko into the starting lineup from time to time. Kem Birch. But I don't see Otto Porter being one of those switch-ins, but I could be wrong. As I said, I don't know what Nick Nurse is going to do. So, and I don't know if we should look at it as a bench mob anymore. I think we should just look at it as like an extended core that gets switched in and out of the starting lineup, because some of these guys aren't going to be I don't consider Precious completely a bench player. He really is a hybrid, like starter bench dude, because of the way Nick is describing this. Cool Cat saying, when teams want to trade with, okay, they want to decimate us. I guess Miami would never trade with us again. I don't know. They'll think twice. That's for sure. I mean, I don't understand why they wouldn't see this. Kyle Lowry's been on a decline the last 2 years he was in Toronto. We knew this was happening. And we knew this was going to happen. That's why we were like, okay, yeah, Miami, you want him? Finally, you can have him. You've wanted him for so long. Now you can have him. Well, didn't you realize that, like, yeah, he's not exactly the same Kyle Lowry he was 4 years ago and stuff like that. So we start with the best 5 and sub out as usual. Yeah, that's the philosophy. That's the Nick Nurse philosophy for his starters. Monique saying a lot of questions still to be answered, plain and simple. Yeah, they're going to have to finesse it, as Nick Nurse likes to say, finesse the lineup and the starters and figure out all that kind of stuff. And over the preseason, with the training camp happening this week and the preseason games coming up now and stuff like that. Let's see. Starks is saying, you might be remembering this past offseason. Jeannie Buss stuck it to LeBron and told him to stuff it. We got this. Le Lake Show. Well, I know that there's been friction between like LeBron, Jeannie, and Rob Pelinka. Like all three of them, it's kind of been like not on the same page and wanting different things. And that has really kind of tugged the Lakers franchise in different directions, made them so dysfunctional. That they all of them are kind of wanting different things and not on the same page. And that Westbrook moved smack to this. Totally smack this. For some reason, I didn't think he wanted him, LeBron, but I don't pay enough attention to the Lakers to care. So you guys may be completely right, and that I was the wrong one. Who was the one that wanted DeMar on the team, though? Was DeMar the only one that wanted on the team that it was going to happen? Who was his ally out of those three people I just talked about? Was it Jeannie that was trying to get DeMar there, and then she got outvoted, and they got Russell to make LeBron happy? I don't know. In fact, I don't really care at this point. I love that DeMar is a badass. I love DeMar. I wish he could have won a chip maybe with LeBron in LA, and that probably would have happened if he went there, but woulda, coulda, shoulda. Once again, it is what it is, and Lakers fucked up. So it's their problem, their fault. And if I was in Lakers Nation, I'd be upset with them because DeMar's from their city. It would have been just such a great fit. And I don't know who fucking thought that was the right decision, is to go in Russell's direction instead. Duke saying, I think the logic is that Otto gives us the shooting Gary Trent would and is defensively sound, but the benefit is that we have four bigs and one guard. Yeah, I think that's right, because in some ways Gary's a little shorter and Otto can be that positionless more. Like, think about this. Take Fred and Gary out of that starting lineup and start Scotty, OG, Otto, Pascal, and Precious or something like that. You know, think about that lineup. You could put Precious at center, Pascal at power forward, OG at shooting guard, and Otto at small forward, and then Scotty at point guard. That is a nasty lineup. That is all seriously 6'9" right across. And it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, I can see that. But Gary, once again, Gary's earned that spot. We're not taking anybody out of their spot, losing their spot for no good reason. They have to lose their spot because they're not able to play or they're not playing well at all. Otherwise, incumbents should continue to keep their spot, because it's like at a job. You didn't do anything wrong, and all of a sudden somebody's taking your job from you, your responsibilities, even though you're doing a great job and doing it fine. You're gonna feel a little weird. So I don't want to do that to Gary. And plus, somebody brought this up yesterday, and this is so true. Everybody else gets so much attention, like Pascal, Fred, Scotty, OG, Precious, but we don't talk about Gary enough. And I think that I'm going to try and do this more this season, put him at the forefront and really champion and push him up more, because he does deserve more buzz and more talked about with him, because he is a very important part of our team and stuff like that. So let's see. That's a great benefit, Duke. And I love that lineup. He's going to stagger. It's going to really be a matchup thing. And like I said, there may be days where guys need a load management game. And it's just you switch somebody in and out of the starting lineup. And we may not know the rhyme or reason to it. So let's not second guess any of this kind of stuff. You know, the arguments that fan nations make about who should start sometimes cause extra toxicity in the fan nation and around the team than is necessary and not wanted. So that's why I hate any kind of like, this person should be starting over this person talk, or anything like about minutes reductions or stat numbers, personal stat numbers and stuff like that. I hate that kind of selfish talk and stuff like that. This is a team, it's a collective, it's an us, not a me. And that everybody thinks that way. And the fans should reflect that also. They shouldn't be thinking in a way that the team players are not even thinking in a way. None of them are that selfish to think, oh, Precious is so upset that he's not going to start right from the beginning of the season. Bullshit. He doesn't give a fuck. He knows he's going to get his time when it comes. And he'll get to start a lot this year. Trust me. He's going to get to start. All right. Monique saying, I'm booking my ride on Sunday for next Sunday. Let's go. That's right, guys. It's coming quick. First preseason game in Edmonton on Sunday, and then a week from that, the next Sunday here in Toronto at Scotiabank Arena, Chicago Bulls preseason. I will be there. Monique will be there. Sue's going to be there. A lot of us other Raptor freaks, if you're going to be there, we're going to get together in the building, and we're going to get loud. We're going to have our Raptor Freak Toronto contingency get together in the building before that Chicago Bulls preseason game. I want to get there as early as possible when the doors are right about to open, because it's a Sunday afternoon and all you guys can get there very early. And if they have the building open for 90 minutes before the game, we can really hang out and have a nice little hangout and meet and greet before, and kind of suss out and figure out a plan for possibly trying to sit together and stuff like that. So I'm going to say that if you guys are going to that game, get there for the absolute earliest you can get there when they open the doors immediately for the public. And it's usually 90 minutes before tip off. So I'm going to be there myself. So if you guys can get there also, and then we can all meet up and hang out for a little bit before the game and have some fun. All right, let's see. Duke Rocks is saying, oh my God, that would be 100% positionless. I want that. I know. This is what's possible. This is the future for the Raptors. Scotty's our point guard. We can do that height all the way through the whole lineup, and there's nothing wrong with that. Guardian Transit saying, possibility Kim could get bought out? No, I don't see that. I mean, why would we want to do that? He's good depth, and he really is like our best capable center at this point. Koloko cannot be counted on yet. We have to see him get proven first and stuff like that. Kim's going to get time to get better and heal completely from his surgery this summer, and he won't be playing a whole lot right at the beginning. And some people may think that that's saying something about him, but that's really just because he needs time to heal, and we can afford to let him have that time and stuff like that. But he's not going to get bought out. Preach on Gary Trent. I'm going to push him. I'm going to champion him this year because I can see that he's not getting the shine that he should be. Duke Rocks is saying, agree, starting is overrated. It's closing that wins games. Yeah, I can agree with that. Tom Duke said, big time star Beverly is a starter and averages 24 to 25 minutes only. You're talking about Patrick Beverly? Starting position doesn't matter as much as winning to our guys. All right, guys, I should probably go. I'm just coming up on 2 minutes. And so, Adriana's here, and she's a little restless. She came out of the room. So let me just make sure I covered everything. All right, if there's anything about the Raptors Freak fantasy basketball, just message me and stuff like that. I see that Bradley dropped Yuta and got James Bouknight. Very interesting move there. James Bouknight for Charlotte. He should be doing pretty good. All right, Kareem. See you tomorrow. Celtics signed Blake Griffin. Okay, whatever. Who cares? Blake Griffin's washed. Good for them. All right, guys. Thanks for watching me today. Please like, comment, subscribe. Tomorrow, Saturday Share Love Club. And have fun tonight, Tom Duke. I really hope that you get to connect with Scotty and get him that stuff that you got him for Cardi. And also just like, whatever happens, just have a good time. Relish the moment. Take it all in and just soak up the Raptors' good vibes and being in that house of love tonight at that open practice charity scrimmage. Joseph Starks, you do the same thing also. All right, guys, have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please like, comment, subscribe, and let's go West Coast Raptor Freaks. Go there and show them that spirit. Give them that energy tonight, Tom Duke, that will help push them towards success this season. I know you're going to do it. Yeah, you're going to enjoy it no matter what. I know you will. And just, soak in the moments, guys. Really, really happy y'all will be there. And like I said, Tom, send me that picture tonight through Facebook. Facebook message me some picture of some sort so I can use it for my thumbnail tomorrow. All right, guys. Thanks again. And let's go Raptors. Let's go get it tonight. Victoria, British Columbia.